Welcome back to Have You Heard? My name is Zoe. I'm one of the co-founders and managing director here at The Social Shepherd. And today I'm joined by...
Ben, me. Hi. I couldn't find my camera there on that one.
Introduce yourself.
I'm Ben. I'm the senior production manager here at Social Shepherd. I've been with you for, I think I just hit the 2-year mark, I think. So 2 years and a couple of days.
Yeah. Nice. Happy anniversary.
Thank you.
So we're in our new production studio today, and I just want to flag to anyone that's watching this that these chairs are leaving. They are a bit grubby. Yeah. I don't like them anymore.
I think they were good in the old office when they were the fanciest thing we had in the office. Yes. But now...
They don't really do justice.
No, and now in this new podcast studio with the nice neon signs and the downlights, they kind of feel the cheap thing.
Yeah. So bear with us. So today we wanted to talk about I think... generally about our creative team and what we do, but more so, I think people can find our creative team quite confusing because we've got our creative content teams. We call them the content pods internally. And we've got our production team they're referred to, but in industry, that's the wrong term to use for them because they're videographers, photographers that are used to working on DSLRs or like more technical equipment, and that's what they do. So the way that the team sort of split is the creative content teams. They will do the planning for social first content. They will work really closely with the organic and the paid teams to understand what's trending. How can they make that into a narrative? So they'll work on the planning. And then the production team, which we probably need to find a new name, to be entirely honest. You guys will, on the shoots that require more technical focus on them, you guys will come focus on lighting, cameras, like how does that sort of visually look. So anything that is the least bit technical, you guys kind of need to be there from that perspective.
Yeah, I think it's kind of, and the good example is more than often we see briefs come through which are really good and exciting, and it's like, okay, how are we going to do this? Like there's crazy things like the clothes float in slow motion in the sky and they fall down on the model.
The
tampons, floating tampons in the ocean. How are we going to film that in our old studio? That was a good one. And we had another one as well.
Just to clarify, I don't want anyone to think that we work with a tampon company, a sustainable period care company, and I came up with a great idea that we would film them tampons in the ocean that were not biodegradable versus the ones that were biodegradable. Obviously we weren't going to put tampons in the ocean, so we made a fixie. And that was in a fish tank in the office. Me and Samuel, multiple buckets of water back and forth, because that was when the studio was, I think, 2 floors down from the tap. So we had to, emptying it was an issue. And then, I was trying to figure it out. And that's what my guys really enjoy the most, is that problem solving. How can, the crazier the idea, the better, and how can we actually pull that off? So it's an interesting sort of, because the teams have very similar roles, but they focus on different ways. Like our content teams are much more focused on that, like organic social storytelling and that kind of thing. Whereas, I would never want people to think that your team don't do planning, because you do. In the sense of, like, say we came to you and we went, oh, we need to film an ad for this like wine brand. You guys would work on the visual direction of that. You would work on the frame by frames. The content pods would probably get involved if we needed like a script or something of that nature. But it's very much like you all work very closely together.
It's we're all working for the same end video, but we're looking at different points of view. So you've got the content pods who will be looking at, okay, what the model's going to be doing, what's the story doing, what are the beats here, and then you've got my guys looking at, okay, all right, what's the camera movement going to be, what's the lighting going to be, what kind of rig do I need to pull this off? Is there something we can do to kind of, often they bring ideas to enhance it. We've had ones for wine brands where it's like we see the bottle, going around in a party, and they've gone, well, do you know what, we can make a rig for this where, it's mounted onto the camera, so you see it from that point of view. And it's kind of, then that's nice when we get to like another level. Then the content guys go, oh, I didn't realize we could do that. All right, well, this is now spun something new for me.
You get a lot of, can I do this?
Yeah. Is there a universe where, I think probably about 3 or 4 times a day I get asked, is it possible for us to do something like this? And then the thing is, even if I don't know, we go, well, we'll try it. And then we go and have a play around and see what we can do.
I think that is one thing that we're really good. And I think like one of our USPs as an agency is the fact that we can produce really good quality content cost effective and time effectively. And like, I think I love our creative team, and I think creative teams should always be like this. Like, no one's gonna be a carbon copy. Like, everyone has their different strengths and weaknesses, and it's nice that we can kind of be like, oh, that really feels like a Dan project, or that really feels like a Luke project, for example.
Absolutely.
And I think it's really nice to be able to nurture that type of like individuality creatively.
Yeah, because I think also it kind of keeps everyone on their toes. One, you're always getting, because even with the same client, you might have 1 month it suits one videographer more, and the next month it suits something else. So it keeps everyone else on their toes. It means no one's kind of getting a bit bunged down with just the sort of repetitive work coming in. It's every month's different. Everyone can hone the skills they want to.
I think one other thing that I sort of wanted to talk about for those that might not be aware is our TikTok offering, and we're changing stuff around a little bit and leveling teams up in certain areas. But I think where the two teams differ quite significantly is for the majority of TikTok first content, the content pods will film that themselves. And they can edit it themselves. It doesn't need a videographer on that shoot.
No, and I think sometimes, we've seen multiple times that actually having a videographer on there sometimes can not hinder it, but
it can hinder the performance because they want to film in a certain way.
So this is what I think it's one of the biggest things the guys, and I struggle with when I join, and every new guy struggles with a bit, is, we've been taught for, so long, right, make sure everything's perfect, the lighting's perfect, you're taking light readings, you're making sure everything's sharp and focused, and you're going, actually, you kind of need to, it's not like don't polish it, but it's a different kind of polish. It's a polish which feels realistic, like Tom down the road could have done this, but it's got to feel still professional.
That has to have the attention there. No, but that's not to say, like, we have had some stuff for premium brands where the narratives have been like hyper TikTok friendly, but actually it all comes down to like, we do different brand identities for different platforms, and this is where I think businesses go wrong, is that they have the same content strategy, the same identity across their YouTube, across their Instagram, across their TikTok, and it has to be different now. Like, people look at those platforms in different ways. So the way that we do it is that the content pods will take care of producing the content for TikTok, but for something like Instagram Reels, it's higher quality.
I can't remember what it was. I was listening to a podcast somewhere, and they were saying, and this could be wrong, but they were saying their point of view is like, TikTok is entertainment. You go to TikTok to be entertained. You're there for like comedy, or like you said, narrative, or hacks. Whereas Instagram is just, it's visual. It's there to be like, you want something
originally
pretty
for
to look
photographers.
at.
So it aligns to what they kind of are. But no matter how like beautiful you're filming on TikTok if the narrative is weak, it ain't going to be saved in terms of a piece of content. But on Instagram, it's much more visual. And I think even if we look at how people interact on the two platforms, people will not go on TikTok with their sound turned off.
No.
Because you don't consume the platform like that. Whereas on Instagram, people do go on Instagram with their sound turned off.
I get annoyed and I turn my sound off. Number of times I go on Instagram, a video started playing with noise. I'm like, no, and sort of turned it off. Like you said, two different ways.
So I think it has a much more of a visual sort of look and feel. And then we kind of get into the realms of YouTube territory, and content pods can plan there, they can help, but that's going to be with the production team and sort of focusing on that, because again, even creators on YouTube, they're not filming on their phones.
No.
They're filming on proper cameras that are expensive, to be entirely honest. Like, it's not cheap to be a creator these days. No. But yeah, I think I think we have quite a unique proposition from a creative standpoint, to be fair. And I think that's probably why we don't struggle to hire, but we have to hire people. We go, okay, skill, haven't done the role before, but we can get you into that role.
Yeah, and I think on top of that as well, it's also trying to find the right culture fit. So we try and find someone with the right skill, but everyone we've got on our team, I think I've said it quite a lot, is, we've come out of interviews where you've kind of gone, nice person, but bit too kind of like, not confident, but like, we want confidence but not arrogance, because you want everyone here.
Wow, you're working in creative, honey.
And that's what I mean. It's hard not to find it, but you want, everyone on our team will go, yeah, I'm comfortable doing that, but no one will ever go, someone's got a better idea, will go, that's not going to work. They'll go, fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, there's not really any room for that, particularly in this line, because like, I was just speaking to Kyle about it, but sometimes you are rocking up at 7 a.m. to a retail store in an industrial park and filming with Colin that's never been on camera before. It's going to be a bit grumpy for at least the first 5 minutes, and there's no room for ego in that. No. And like, it's quick. Like we churn out content and it's good content. So I think we don't And I want to put this in a non-offensive way. We don't have the time, or to be honest, it's just not within their company values to sit and massage any sort of like creative egos.
No, and I think also because we do such a range of everything, everything from, like, say, from TikToks right through to what we've got going on next week, overseas shoots for ads. You kind of got to have the. Sorry, not your microphone. I don't want anyone who's going to be like, this is below me.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people you meet in this industry. You go, I'm not going to film on mobile. That's below me. It's like,
some people do turn their noses up, being like, oh, I'm going to shoot for social.
Yeah.
But actually, to be honest, social is probably where you're getting the most eyeballs. So I don't know why anyone's turning their
It's
nose
also,
up.
it's tricky as well. Trying to get, like we were saying, try and find a internet, trying to find a global brand's identity on a social platform. It's tricky. Of course, you can find it if you're shooting with, big broadcast equipment, which, we do have, but trying to find it on mobile, trying to translate that across to something you carry in a backpack is tough.
Yeah. No, I think it's interesting, and we've really actually started to like develop what we do more and more as we've kind of gone along. So I think that's been really strong, and like you said, the team are off to Greece next week, I think, to film some ads. So there's just and we're sending both teams. So we've got a mobile first team from the content teams filming the BAU content for social, and then we've got your team going with camera equipment to film ads. And it's just what is needed to fulfill that content requirement. So it's I mean, I think the main thing that splits the two teams up, the two halves, of the one team is just sort of skill set of where they kind of lie, and sort of their, I would say, I don't think you will take offense to this, but the content pods they have to be much more up to date with like pop culture references.
Absolutely.
Like
yeah. My guys kind of need to be aware of it for things like trends with transitions or stuff that's happening. But a lot of that stuff we get from the briefs that are written, we then go, all right, let me look into this quickly.
But like the team that you work with, they just geek about camera stuff all the time. Like, oh my God, we could do this. Or like, can we get this equipment? Whereas the content teams are like, oh my God, have you seen this new trend? And it's just very different interests and skill sets that split the two teams. But we can very easily identify who should be in what team. If that makes sense. So I think it is a bit confusing, but it works, and it means that we can produce content really quickly. So hopefully that was helpful for anyone watching, and thank you for watching.